Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another deck tech on MTGO, and I need to apologise to anyone who comes and joins me on my stream. Over the time I've been streaming since February, there is one commander that I think has upset us a lot of the times we played against it on MTGO, and I've been threatening to do this for a little while now. I don't even pretend playing this on stream unless we're playing something a bit more competitive. The reason we dislike this commander, it just seems to just twist the gameplay around very quickly. The people we've played against it a few times have won on their turn 3 or their turn 4, and it doesn't make good stream games. People get upset with it, and I have to say, a couple of times we've played against people playing this card, they've been not very pleasant in the chat, let's put it that way. I still see my stream as something I do for fun, and it's something I'll always do for fun, and I play my decks on there for fun. Yeah, I don't always win all the time, I don't intend to, but it's got to the point now where I figured I need to do something when I'm trying to record videos for this lovely YouTube channel, which I hope you're subscribed to and you're going to like this video at the end. I can jump in cEDH games and not feel like I'm about to get beaten up completely, and maybe I'll record a couple of them and get up on YouTube. So I had to build something to do it. So for some of the people who come and join me on the channel, you know who you are. I apologise for having done this, but here we go. It is, of course, Urza, Lord High Artificer. 2 and 2 blue for a legendary human Artificer. When Urza enters the battlefield, get a 0/0 colourless construct artifact creature. With this, creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. So obviously he comes in as a 1/1. And you get to tap him instantly for a blue mana. And then you can pay 5 mana, shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until the end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. Urza is probably one of the main definitions in my mind of a cEDH commander. There is just so much you can do with this card. You can load up your deck with cheap artifacts. You can load up your deck with expensive artifacts. You can load up your deck with counter spells, control cards, cantrips, so on and so forth. And it will just do it, and you'll always, end up ahead on mana with this card. It's one of the reasons we don't tend to, well, I don't mind playing against it, I have to say, but you do tend to find that some people do get a little bit grumpy about playing against it, or the comments in the chat aren't particularly nice. But I decided I needed something where I could go cEDH if I want to. Urza was my pick for this. Yes, there's probably better choices, but Urza was in my price range. This is what I've gone for. So let's just talk about the deck, and we'll go through it. So we've got a whole load of islands, or blue mana sources. I've included some of the hideouts, so Broker's hideouts here. We can go and get an island with this. Vantress, Desert the Mindful, Evolving Wilds. I've still got Fabled Passage and Field of the Dead in here. I figured we'd probably have enough different lands at some stage that we can trigger the Field of the Dead to get some zombies, so I figured it's worth a go. A whole load of islands. And then down the bottom, Maestro's Theatre lets us find an island. Miracle, so we can keep drawing cards if things go wrong. Mystic Sanctuary, to return stuff to the top of our library from our graveyard. Storefronts in here. Skyline Cascade, Terramorphic, one of each of Urza's Miners, Powerplant, Urza's Tower, and Vivid Creek. Hopefully we'll get enough lands in place so that we can trigger Field of the Dead. If we don't, well, that's my bad for trying to be hopeful, but I like having Field of the Dead in my decks, as you all know. So we will see. Right, then we go on to the artifact side of it. Don't forget, ooh, that wasn't meant to happen. What we like doing with Urza is having artifacts we can just play and tap for mana. So I've put some ramp stuff in. So we've got Mox Tantalite and we've got Soul Talisman, so we can go down the suspender route, get them in at some stage. But then I went with all the 0 casting cost artifacts I could find in my collection. So Bonesaw, Everflowing Chalice, Mana Crypt, Memnite, Ornithopter, Paradise Mentor, Phyrexian Walker, Shield Sphere, Spider Silk Net. Obviously we've got Urza in play. Dropping these is basically, let's all have an extra land drop that turn, because you can just instantly tap them all for a bit of blue mana. To help us get there, we've got Brainstorm, Ponder, and Serum Visions. I figure they're probably my favourite 3 blue cantrippy type ones. I've dropped in Elixir of Immortality, so when things get undoubtedly countered and removed, we get to shuffle everything back into our library. Mana Vault's in here, Soul Ring's in here. This is sort of part of the Mana Vault's obviously part of the reason I'm saying this deck is a bit more competitive. Usually it's not a card you see me play that often, but hey, it's appearing now. Soul Ring obviously is in every deck. It's just no brainer for Soul Ring. Then we've got Cyclonic Rift, Dramatic Reversal, Counterspell, Mana Drain. Dramatic Reversal I'll come back to. Geometric Nexus I'm trying out. We've got quite a few instants and sorceries, and having those nice little fractal creatures come into play could help us occasionally. But it could be... the only thing this happens is this is a 2 mana rock, basically. It's no different to a diamond, so yeah. Especially with Urza in play. Right. Isochron Scepter. This is where it becomes really more competitive than I'm usually playing. Isochron Scepter, what you're looking to really imprint onto this card is Dramatic Reversal. You're going to be able to easily pay 2 mana and untap everything, and it untaps itself. At some stage you'll just hit an infinite mana loop, which will probably upset your opponents. You get to cast some of the stuff down the other end, but yeah, that's what you're hoping to hit. Sapphire Medallion to make everything a little bit cheaper. Silvermere just to speed up that little bit of ramp. We could change this into the blue diamond if you want to, but I wanted at least a couple of creatures in my deck, so Silvermere it was. Treasure maps here, mainly because we want to try and get it to transform, because those extra treasures can be tapped for blue mana, so it's more ramp. Then we go across to the level 3. Anyway, scrying is quite helpful occasionally. Right, Master of Ethereum's here. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1, and this power and toughness is equal to the number of artifacts you have in play. We'll have a lot of artifacts in play, so it seemed like a no-brainer. Puppeteers here, just so we can untap things if we need to. I'm not sure if we need it. There's not that many creatures we want to be untapping, but there's a couple that we come to later on that could prove beneficial having them untapped. Size here. We'll cast a lot of artifact spells. We might also have some artifacts. They get to tap for blue mana as well. Timetwister's in. If I'm going to go the competitive route I'm trying to do with this deck, we might also have Timetwister in just to keep on going. I've dropped in a Memory Erosion. I'm not sure. Probably this doesn't belong in the deck. It probably should be something a little bit more useful towards the goal. It should probably be another artifact. But I quite fancy just playing this, you know. It's a kind of a mini win condition maybe. But you know, if people are fiddling around with the top of their decks, and when they cast something they're going to mill whatever they've fiddled around with, so it's worth it. Academy Manufacturers here. There is a reason for this. It may look a little bit weird at the moment, but we'll come to it. Extra planar lens, get your mana, get your land down, get it ramping, go for even more mana. Magnifying Glass is reason one as why Academy of Rector is in here. If we investigate, we get all these nice tokens. They're all artifacts, so the clue, the foe, the treasure, which means with Urza in play, we'll have lots of things we can do. The other one it works really well with is over here in the 5-drop section is Tamiyo's Journal, because you get a clue at the beginning of each of your upkeep. With Academy Manufacturer in play, you'll get a clue of food and a treasure. And the other, the upside is also if you've got Urza in play, you can tap your Manufacturer for a blue mana if you need to. So bear that in mind. Skyclave Relic, indestructible artifacts seemed like a good idea. Yes, they give us mana, but we can have them anyway. Few clone effects, so Phyrexian Metamorphs an artifact creature, copy something, it'll still be an artifact, and you can still tap it for mana. Clones here for the same reason, just comes in, copy things. Likewise Spark Double, we can copy the most annoying thing. We haven't got many Planeswalkers in here at all, so we can always copy someone else's if we need to. Mechanized Productions in here, we'll put it on one of our artifacts and then create a copy of it. It's another win condition. If we get, say we put this on a treasure token and protect that treasure token, we'll get a load of treasures at some stage and hopefully win the game that way. Teferi's Asia's Insights here, might as well draw some extra cards, which helps. Spy Network, get a nice little artifact creature at the beginning of each upkeep. Again, it also helps us with the card draw. Again, it's also something we can put Mechanized Production on. Jace Wielder of Mysteries, I was a bit concerned that we might get milled out, or we might mill out Sorry about that. So I decided we'd play one of these. Plus the fact, we could draw a card. If we got no cards in our graveyard when we try and draw something, we win. Ether Flux Reservoir is one of our win conditions. We play lots and lots of spells, hopefully, mainly because we'll be tapping things for the mana for this. Get up to 50 life, or over 50 life, I should say. Take someone out as we go along. It shouldn't be that difficult. Likewise, Etherworks Marvels in here, so whenever one of our permanents go to the graveyard, we can look at the, we'll get some energy. Again, this may be a bad choice, but the worst of the worst, it's an expensive land, for want of a better phrase, when Urza's in play. Font of Mythos help us draw into our cards. Everyone gets a little bit of draw. Sometimes it means if you're playing Font of Mythos, you get left alone a little bit. That's what will happen with Urza, but it's worth a thought. Nyx Lotus, we do have a fair amount of permanents that have blue mana symbols in them, so we might as well have this in here as well. And at the worst, you can just tap it for one, or you can tap it for a whole load of stuff when you've got stuff in play, especially when we get up to here. Primal Amulet, yeah, this is probably the card I'm least positive about in the whole deck. Yeah, we do have instants and sorceries. Are we going to be able to flip it over and copy spells? Difficult, don't know, but I think it's worth a try. Solemn Simulacrum should just go in every deck. Going up to 5-drop, we've got Metallurgic Summonings. Yeah, again, we'd like to get this in play. We have got some instants and sorceries that cost a bit. Can we get things? Yeah, maybe. But the second part's quite nice. Exile it, return all instants and sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. Activate it if you control 6 more artifacts. We'll probably have 6 more artifacts in play a lot of the time, so it's worth having this in from my point of view. One extra turn spell just in case we need it. That's all I've put in the deck. I didn't want to go over the top. You can play hundreds of these things. I own Temporal Manipulation, so it went in the deck. Tezzeret's here, untapping 2 artifacts, untapping maybe your Nyx Lotus and say a Skyclave Relic can help with the mana, or you can untap the next card down, the Gilded Lotus, or you can search out an artifact and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Again, not the worst idea in the world, especially if you want to go and get Isochron Scepter. It's a nice little way of going and finding it. Orbs Wardings here, just to give us hexproof so we can't be targeted, so can't get hit by that random discard. And there's a lot of creatures around at the moment, so it's getting a little bit less damage from them as they attack you is not the worst thing in the world. Tamio's Journal, I mentioned this about the clue generation to go Academy Manufacture earlier. The second ability is sacrifice 3 clues, search your library for a card and put that in your hand, then shuffle. So it gives you a way of going and getting some of the spells you may want to get. Gearing across a little bit further, Consecrated Sphinx is here. It's a little bit of a win condition, also a little bit of I need to draw more. I've put Mind's Desire in. Again, this is a card I'm not sure about, but I figure we've got enough cheap spells, especially if we sort of like cast a whole load of 0 costing or 1 casting cost artifacts, and then using Urza mana to cast Mind's Desire should give us a big storm effect, and it could be really beneficial in this deck, so I figured it was worth trying out. Teferi Temporal Archmage is here. If I remember correctly, Teferi was one of Urza's students. I may be wrong. Please correct me if I am. My lore knowledge isn't as great as some other people's, but having the ability to untap 4 permanents seems like a good idea to me in this deck, and that's really it. There's no other reason for it. Maybe look a bit of card draw, but it's the untapping bit I was interested in. Ugin, both versions of Ugin are in here. Mainly for some creature control, and it does help drop the cost of our artifact spells as well, because they are colourless, don't forget. So Ugin in play, all of these drop by 2, to the extent of which that some of these become completely free, so can't complain too much about that idea. Agent of Treachery to nick the most annoying thing our opponents may have. Why not? Likewise, Mind's Dilation, grab some of the spells our opponents may play off the top of their library, and we can cast it without paying its mana cost, so we can play things outside of our turn. Playing some of their sorceries could really help us. Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, 3 damage, exile stuff, gain 7 life, draw 7, put 7 cards from the permanent on your hand onto battlefield, no brainer. Likewise, Darksteel Forge is here. Artifacts you control have indestructible. With Urza, you've got indestructible mana production, and this will tap for mana. Likewise, I decided to play Phyrexian Triniform. It's one of the cards from original Commander Legends with the Encore ability, but I like the idea of it dying and leaving me with 3 colourless 3/3 golems, and then if we encore it, it'll attack each of our opponents, and when those copies die, you get all those nice tokens again. So yeah, lots and lots of tokens, so you can't complain too much. Right, Hanging-Back Walker, something to pump our mana into, really. If we can produce a whole load of mana and keep going, we can just make a massive Hanging-Back Walker and hope that people don't exile it. If they don't exile it and they just kill it, we'll get all those nice little 1/1 artifact flying tokens. Can't complain, which will give us a whole load of mana. And finally, Commit to Memory. Realistically, it's just for the second of each player shuffles their hand and library into their graveyard, then draws 7 cards. It does, you know, putting target spell or non-banned permanent second from top will also save us occasionally. And that's it. Like I say, you're probably not going to see me play it on stream that often. It's one of those decks that people, yeah, I remember when Urza first came out, it went absolutely mad in, what was it, Modern Horizons, wasn't it, when Urza first came out? A lot of people were chasing it. It's still an expensive card in paper. On MTGO, it's not too bad at the moment. I picked this up today for just under 5 tickets, hence why I've got it. But I would imagine it will jump back up at some stage when the next set comes out. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's the end of the deck tech. Let me know what I've missed, because undoubtedly there are so many combos with this card. I know I've missed some of them out. I just know it. I'm not even going to hide it. I know I've missed some of them, and this probably isn't the fastest version of it you could build. But let me know down below in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of my stuff. Come and see me on Twitch, and hopefully I'll get some gameplay done with Urza at some stage and recorded and put up as well. But not now. I'm a little bit tired, so I'm going to leave it now. I'm going to leave you alone. Thanks for watching the video. Enjoy it. I'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.